the post against him now. Shakes, spins, and fires.
Oh, Kobe.
That turnaround game, that's a carbon copy.
It looks identical.
Before we get into this video, I just want you guys to remember the name of this series of loose comparisons. I made 2 other videos on this. You guys can check them out in the playlist. Again, remember these videos are very, very opinion based and that everyone else has their own opinion. Also, I am just comparing and contrasting these players a little bit. I know that each player is their own player and has their own legacy and their own career. However, Demar Derozan, players like him, where they really do get motivated and take, experiences and play styles from guys like Kobe Bryant. Demar even said himself, take Kobe away, I wouldn't be here. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into this. So the first thing that's obvious to point out between Kobe and Demar's game that's similar is they're both 6'6", 6'7", and weigh around the same, and they're absolute mid-range killers. I know you guys saw from that clip, and if you've watched any of Demar or Kobe's career, you would understand that these guys will do whatever it takes to get a bucket between 15, 17 feet. And something that I really, really like about Demar and Kobe Bryant is that they're both calm killers. They just have the best demeanor and love for the game. Kobe at times has been a little more vocal than Demar, and I definitely have seen Demar get vocal, but I'm sure you guys will all remember those playoff series where Kobe is just literally has the most mean and evil demeanor on his face, and honestly sometimes he would bark. But it seems to me like Demar is someone who likes to just try to let his game do the talking, and I don't think that it's a slight at Kobe for talking. It's just that, again, these players are different, but they're a little bit similar. One thing that really separated Kawhi from Jordan, in my eyes at least, if you guys watched my video talking about how Kawhi Leonard could be today's Michael Jordan, is the athleticism displayed, and I don't think DeMar has any issues with that as far as comparing it to Kobe. Kobe and DeMar both have some ridiculously insane posters on their career, and they are always trying to be the first person to get out and running to create something for their team. So when you see these highlight reel posters or lobs or 360s or just remarkably athletic plays, you can't do anything but chalk it up to them being them. I know that Kobe Bryant has had a lot more success, and that's one of the early cons we're going to talk about, that DeMar is not as locked in the playoffs. Obviously, he had his whole thing with LeBron too, and I don't blame him for not seeing much success in San Antonio. It was failing, and then obviously here in Chicago, he has a very unhealthy roster. He did have that remarkable 40-point game playoff, 40-point game in last year's playoff against the Bucks. Jesus, my bad. And that right there, it was like a movie. He hit that tough mid-range right on the middle before he fell down right in front of Giannis's face. That's one of those games where you steal in Milwaukee after losing the home game and you think, okay, maybe we got a chance, but obviously I think a lot of people knew the Bucks would handle business, and they did in 5. Which brings me to my next point, that Kobe is definitely more of a leader than DeMar Derozan. It's not that I don't think DeMar can't be a leader or isn't a leader necessarily. I'm sure a lot of the guys in that Chicago locker room look at him as the leader or the primary ball handler or scorer. But there's just levels to this stuff. There's a difference between fighting for DeMar and fighting for someone like Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or Tim Duncan or Larry Bird, someone that's on that echelon of greatness. But I'd like to just move away from the resume and the stats and get, again, a little bit back into the play style, because that's what we're here to talk about. DeMar, he can stretch the floor into the 3 recently a little bit, but just like Kobe, he hasn't been the most efficient shooter from downtown. Like I said, these guys are more mid-range, athletic, beat you off their first step, get by you, score at the basket. And they do it at will. I've never seen 2 people who are so globally known to not be able to shoot as well. And granted, Kobe was a little more praised with the 3 ball, but DeMar, in the early 2016, 17, 18s, people were saying that DeMar was not a 3-point shooter, could not shoot it at all. But yeah, this guy still averages 28 points a season, and I just think that, or at least he did that year in Toronto. I'll put it up on the screen right now. I just think that's a really insane testament to how skilled DeMar is. I'm sorry, it was 27.3, not 28 points. But do you guys realize how impressive that is to score that many points in an NBA game, averaging only 1.7 3-point attempts a game? Not to mention, he just did it again at age 32. He averaged 27.9 points, shooting only 2 3-pointers a game. And while we can see that 3-point percentage has gone up, at least especially when you compare it to the last couple years, the volume hasn't really gone up as much. And again, that just says a lot with how comfortable Demar is where he's at. You know, you hear a lot of guys talking about how you need to find your role in the league and play your role in the league. And that's something I think both Demar and Kobe did wonderfully. Even when things got tense for Kobe Bryant and Shaq got traded and there was this misunderstanding with Kobe and the franchise and he was possibly going to go to Chicago, Kobe just kept his poise and continued to hoop and play ball. And I admired Demar for that a lot when this whole thing with San Antonio went down. I mean, we're talking about a guy who gave 8 years to an NBA franchise in Toronto. That isn't even a big one, mind you. You know, we only have guys like, at the time, Tracy McGrady's come out of here, Vince Carter's come out of here. We've seen a little bit of Chris Bosh out of here. We have seen no success, no outstanding love to a player from an organization, and then we get this duo of Kyle and Demar, and all the Toronto fans love him, and then boom, they just trade him for Kawhi Leonard, and he has to go to San Antonio and play in a new system under a new coach with a bunch of young guys right after coming off like a 60-win season. I'm pretty sure it could have been 58-win season. I don't know. I'll have to put it up on the screen for you guys. But that just, it takes a big man to be able to just bite your tongue, go in and hoop and play well. And I know when he went to San Antonio, he shocked a lot of people because a lot of people were talking about how DeMar is becoming underrated now and this and that. And I don't even know if that's the case. It's just that, again, the situation was so different. Like, DeMar's output from 2018 to 2020 has not really changed that much. In 2018, he averaged 23 points. In 2020, he averaged 21 and a half. It's just that it seemed like the basketball at that moment he was playing, it felt just like how Kobe was in those confusing, before the 2008 and 9 and 10 season, just those confusing years, the in between, the 05 to 2006, 2007, where it's just like you're almost in no man's land. So again, I just really want to tip my hat to DeMar for keeping his composure, and again for Kobe for not going to Chicago. I don't know if DeMar, when his career boils down, will ever be the winner that Kobe is. I mean, obviously I think it's easy to say that it's a little late for him to win 5 championship rings, but again, we're talking about play style here. So the perfect ending for me, I would really hope that DeMar can at least get 1 ring and just continue to be that mid-range killer that he is. You know, I hope he continues to show love for the game. I hope he continues to be a student of the game just like Kobe was. But that's all for me today, guys. I just want to say one more thing. Shout out to Derozan for becoming the face of Kobe Bryant's Nike line. I think that's so awesome. Keep the legacy going, keep it alive. We love to see that. If you guys like this video or even loved this video and you're new, please leave it a subscribe and leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing recently. I'm gonna try to get back to a consistent 3 to 4 uploads a week. Share this with someone if you're new, and go follow my Twitter if you haven't already. Peace.